Good morning. Welcome to a new video. Welcome to the Lycian Way, or Likya Yolu, how the name is in Turkish. It's 5:30 or something. We just woke up. So usually we don't get up that early on hiking trails. There is forecast for thunder again, of course, because we are starting. We try to finish this stage before noon, because the thunder should arrive in just afternoon. So yeah, now we're gonna conquer the Lycian Way from Cirali to Fethiye, about 350 kilometers. It will take us like around 3 weeks. Wow, 3 weeks of walking. Amy, how motivated are you?
The day before the hike, we spent mainly on the beach, enjoying the great weather, having a beer to celebrate my birthday, and in the evening we went on a little hike as a warm-up. The Chimaera are ever-burning gas fields close to our starting point called Cirali. As they are north of Cirali, we would have skipped them heading south, but we really wanted to see this natural phenomenon with our own eyes. The gas fields are well known since ancient times. And of course, back in the days, these flames that were burning for no reason and never stopped were also the basis for many legends and myths. In ancient Greek lore, the Chimaera embody the fusion of fearsome beasts: a lion's body, a goat's head emerging from its back, and a serpent's tail. This monstrous creature was believed to spew flames, spreading terror across the land of Lycia. Its defeat came by the hands of courageous hero Bellerophon, who, aided by the mythical winged horse Pegasus, triumphed over the Chimaera, securing the peace for the region. The flames are said to be the remains of this fight. But back to our adventure on the Lycian Way. As soon as we left, we came close to one of the beaches, which are nesting areas for Caretta caretta, the loggerhead turtle. During the nesting season or hatching season, it is strictly prohibited to walk on the beach during the night, because this is the time where the turtles lay their eggs as well as the young ones are hatching. We also passed the Olympus ruins, which are worth a visit as well. Anyway, if one wants to visit all the attractions along the route, it takes about double the time to finish this trail.
We're only like 2 kilometers inside in the trail, and it more and more feels like a very illegal way.
While it was still very dark, it was not so easy to find the way and we had to be very careful. As soon as dawn set in, we could finally see where we are. A beautiful forest with huge old-grown strawberry trees and a lot of Orchis anatolica, a common orchid found in Greece and the Middle East. Also, the trail was very enjoyable and a mix of some rocky parts and easy forest paths.
This whole area is full with all the colors of Anemone coronaria. It's amazing. It's so beautiful.
As we had passed the highest part of the day, rain set in, but luckily nothing too bad. We safely made our way down, passing our new crab friend, little caves and later glass houses. As well as these absolutely random buses playing election campaign music. That was funny for the first few days, in the end it was just super annoying. And soon we arrived in Adrasan, where we booked a little bungalow for the night to be sheltered from the coming thunder.
Hello. So we made it. This is where we're gonna stay for the night, if they finally, probably, hopefully, if somebody is finally appearing and will give us the keys. So far it was quite easy as it was dry, but just now in time the weather we wanted to avoid. Hallo Katze, guten Morgen. So, stage number 2 was a tough start in the day. It's one of these days where I struggle to find motivation. Anyway, we are entering the Beydaglari Coastal National Park, and from now on it's 9 kilometers until the Gelidonia Lighthouse. The sign says that this is probably the most beautiful stage of the whole trail. I'm really curious how often we will read that.
Looking back now, this sign probably did not lie. On this stage we saw so many species we didn't see on the whole rest of the trail. For example, these wild tulips.
Today we can finally appreciate all the beauty we find here actually, because yesterday we were a bit in a hurry because of the thunder. By the way, it was a good idea we slept inside. It was heavy rain, thunder, lightning, all that stuff, you know. And yeah, so yesterday we were quite in a hurry, seen so many beautiful plants. And today we can really take time and appreciate them. It's so cool, like this whole slope is full of these wild tulips. Looks so cool.
It may be a surprise for some of you, but tulips don't come from the Netherlands. Their native range is Central Asia and the Middle East. I want to add here that spring and probably March is the best time to walk this trail. It's warm, it's not too hot, nature is waking up from her rest of the cooler months, and it is so incredibly beautiful. There are plenty of small islands surrounding the cape. Suluada is one of them, and apparently some of these islands are still home to the critically endangered Mediterranean monk seal. After this picturesque and also challenging path, we reached the Gelidonia Lighthouse, which marked the end of the hardest part of the day. Cape Gelidonia is the most dangerous place in the Gulf of Antalya due to countercurrents. In ancient times, many ships were dragged to the rocks and sank. That's why the area turned into an underwater cemetery covered with shipwrecks over time. The lighthouse was built in 1934. Now the path was easy downhill, but that did not change its beauty and the things that were to discover. We saw this Eurasian hoopoe, a bird that is quite common in Southern Europe and the Middle East. Still, this was only the second time I saw them in real life. They can often be found as a couple, as these birds live a monogamous life. They often can be seen on the ground. This is where they are feeding on insects, sometimes small reptiles and amphibians, as well as seeds and berries. One of the insects they feed on is the pine processionary, a species creating more and more damage due to its rising population in the Mediterranean region, as well as increasingly Central Europe. Only a few minutes later we found what I think is Ophrys holocericea, one of many Ophrys species native to Eurasia. Look at the incredible beauty. These orchids produce sexual pheromones with their flowers, which attract mainly bees, and by trying to actually intercourse with the flower, the bee will pollinate them. Often one species of ophrys is dependent on only one species of bees or bumblebees.
It's like Christmas. We found running water, which is great, and next to it, just next to it, is a bin, and we were collecting trash again. Finally get rid of this. We found our camping spot for the night. It's probably the most beautiful camping spot I've ever camped at in my life, and we just arrived a few minutes before the sun is making psst. Dobre rano. We left our very nice camp spot. Both of us didn't really sleep well. Besides this, we had coffee. Today's stage is 31 kilometers. It's nearly only walking through agricultural lands and a lot of glass houses and stuff. I don't know if it's going to be so much fun. So maybe you already realized that I don't really know what we're doing here. I think we've never been less prepared for any hiking trail. I basically downloaded the app and said, okay, let's walk.
Looking back now, this day is one of my favorites on the whole trail. We started the walk along the coast, met the first rough-tailed rock agama, an agama lizard species found in the Middle East until Greece and Cyprus. Therefore it's the only agama native to Europe. And we also saw our first tortoise friend, but more on them later. There are plenty to follow.
So this part is actually way more entertaining than I expected. So there is not only glass houses, there is a real town, many people, a huge school with many pupils and stuff. We just had lunch at this little coffee shop, and they gave us one of their chilies, fresh harvested. And holy shit, I'm happy I was wearing my sun my sunglasses, because otherwise he would have seen me crying. Hello. Amy, are you still crying? That was a nice experience. There were these people sitting in front of their house, and they were having lunch and chai, of course, and they insisted we join them. It was just like 2 minutes after we left the coffee shop. I hope hello. I hope we don't get invited too often today. The last 2 kilometers means we made we made already 29 kilometers. Wow, it's tough. Yeah, especially walking on the road, you know. I don't like the walking on concrete or asphalt or whatever. It's really bad for the feet. I already feel that there are blisters, but I don't want to know about them actually before we are in the accommodation. So we are at the accommodation after 31 long kilometers, and in this direction these are the mountains which we will climb tomorrow, I think. Good morning. We just found the first Lycian tomb on our way. We just started day 4 and we just got a lot of food, because the next 3 days we're gonna hike across a mountain range with more or less no civilization until Demre, where there are the famous Myra Ruins. The mountains behind us are snow covered, and we will go up to 1750 meters, something like this, I'm not sure if there will be snow, but it will be certainly cold. We will try to set up our tent always beneath like 900 meters. It should be fine. We shouldn't freeze there, I hope.
And soon we had one of the coolest encounters. First we saw this Greek tortoise climbing these rocks. And a few meters higher we saw his little friend over there. And while I started talking about them, we realized we nearly stepped on a snake.
There's a snake. Okay. And she's super small and a bit aggressive. Who are you? Is this a coin snake?
Yeah, well, I nearly stepped on it. Of course she's aggressive.
After getting a bit closer, I saw the head, which is kind of in a triangle shape. This is an indicator of it being a viper, a venomous snake species. This particular one is a rock viper, quite common to the region and one of the 2 viper species that can be found in Likya. I even wrote myself a paper of all the snakes that can be found in the area for a faster identification. While most viper species found in Europe have a painful bite, they are usually not deadly to a healthy adult. However, the venom of the rock viper is known to be highly potent and cause fatalities in adults. Anyway, don't be scared of them, such close encounters are still very rare. Always observe your surroundings when walking through the territory and keep your distance to them so you and them will be safe.
We are now in this dry riverbed. I think we're gonna hike up this canyon. As I always say, nature is by far the best landscaper there can be.
After seeing the snake, we were actually walking pretty slow to avoid another too close encounter with them. Anyway, this part was very steep, the weather was hot, so we had a sweaty day and a lot of drinking breaks until we were quite high, just beneath 900 meters, where we reached the ruins of Belos, where we planned to camp.
I think we reached a camp spot for the night. It's full of goats, so first we're gonna try to get the best camp spot because it's also a bit windy, and then we're gonna explore, I think.
This is a unique camp spot and there is much to explore between the high tombs made of stone. I actually did not find many informations about these ruins, so there isn't much I can tell you about, despite it being an acropolis. But anyway, enjoy the views.
Good morning, day 5. We're leaving the Acropolis. The night was not cold but very windy, so quite noisy. Okay, today we have to cover like nearly 18 kilometers and 1000 meters up and down, and we have to go on an altitude of over 1750 meters, so it's gonna be quite a tough day. On this stage we're going to pass by a lot of these very simple shepherd huts. So this whole mountain is frequented by shepherds, so goats. We reached the first cistern, and don't know if you can see it, but it's probably you can't see it, but it's nearly full. And the only bad thing is there is no bucket to collect the water. The scenery here is so cool, I think, with these simple old shepherd huts. If you have seen the shorts or videos about Elba or Sardinia, where they have these old stone houses, it's completely different with wood and plastic. Found another cistern, but I'd say it's not really drinkable.
As we reach the alpine part, we immediately recognize the change of the flora. The most significant one is that suddenly there are huge Lebanese cedars. Turkey is nowadays the most important native habitat of these species, as their territory in Lebanon and Syria has been decimated to near extinction. In ancient times, the wood has been used to build ships. This drought-resistant tree can grow up to 50 meters high and reach an age of more than 1000 years.
We're now in this little shepherd settlement in the mountains, and due to the wind it's freezing cold sometimes. Yeah, there is also nobody yet. Apparently they spent the summer here, I guess. We also already found a cistern. This one was dirty, and there's another one at the end, and we really hope that this one is at least quite clean.
And we were lucky with this one. Most places have a bucket and a rope next to them. During the whole process, hikers should be careful not to pollute the water in any way, because it is a life-saving resource for other fellow hikers and of course the shepherds who spend their time here. Usually the water is drinkable without concerns. We only used purification tablets twice and never had any struggle. The wind on this day was really rough, and we were happy about our decision to seek for camp spots in the lower region of the mountain.
And we reached the road. This section wasn't so easy. Steep, a lot of loose gravel and rocks, so not so nice for your knees and ankles. But well, we nearly reached our camp spot for tonight. Klaus seine Kniescheiben waren schon hangrend nach Dürngrad.
After crossing a farm, we reached the ruins of the Church of Archangel Gabriel, or Alikilize. This was for sure a unique camp spot we had. The church was built in the 6th century and rebuilt in the 9th. Today only some walls are still standing and there are 3 dwells around without any buckets, but luckily Amy is very creative in such situations. So we let down a live straw and got out some water with some pieces of whatever inside, but we managed to also filter this. To be sure we won't shit in the tent, we also put purification tablets in the water.
Good morning, my friends. Oh, that was a tough night. It was so windy and also a bit cold actually. So the evening we had a nice little campfire. Yeah, but actually we had coffee, and now we go to the town of Demre. We're also gonna have a pause day in Demre because we want to visit all these ruins too, and also our bodies took a lot in the last few days. Only 15 kilometers, something like this today, and then we have a nice bungalow with a shower and a bed.
The day begins quite easy with walking along a dirt road, crossing a town and some Lycian tunes. But soon it gets partly very steep and the whole section is marked pretty bad, at least in this direction, so we had to stop and get back on the trail again. After saying hi to another tortoise friend, we finally saw the Demre riverbed and descended the last steep part of the day.
We finished the very steep downhill part, thankfully. It was partly quite wild and really bad marked, so not so nice for the knees and ankles. We earned a pause day and we earned definitely a lot of delicious food. the accommodation in time, because back there is a huge thunder roaming already.
On our pause day we wanted to explore the ruins of Myra and the Church of St. Nicholas, but entry fees for both were 32 euros per person in March of 2024, which feeds you for multiple days in Turkey. So we skipped that and had a look at the rock tombs from a bit further away.
Good morning! We already started this day. We're about an hour outside of Demre. We're approaching the islands now and going to the direction of Kaş. Today will be quite a flat stage. We will walk mostly along the coastline, and I don't know how much distance we will cover, like probably something between 20 to 25 kilometers, and then look out for a nice camp spot at the coast, at the beach or something. Look at this beautiful, beautiful beach. One of the many breeding beaches of Caretta caretta, the loggerhead sea turtle. If you're lucky, you can see Caretta caretta here digging holes and laying their eggs inside. Around at this time of the year, take care. Usually the nests are marked because they are very threatened, they are endangered, and so it's very important to keep the nests of these species safe.
As well as keeping the environment clean. Right next to the beach, a little river with crystal clear waters runs into the sea.
Do you see the beautiful white beach there? Gonna have a swim there.
Maybe this is why the Lycian Way is often called one of the most beautiful hiking trails in the world. Unique landscapes, daily changing scenery, rich in history, and outstanding flora and fauna, and a lot of welcoming, helpful and friendly locals made our Lycian Way an unforgettable trip.
So we finished the stage. This is our campground for tonight. It's right next to a road, but it's not really busy. It's not a perfect camp spot, but we have a view on the castle back there. We have a little fireplace.
And here we're gonna make a cut for this video. If you enjoyed it and want to see how our walk on the Lycian Way continues, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next part, and feel free to check out our other long distance hiking or travel videos. Have a great day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!